Alright, what's up? Today I'm going to attempt to do something on the vet that I've had for a few days, probably a week, and I haven't done it yet. So, as many of you know, you can lower the stock Corvettes on the stock bolts because they have bolts for their leaf springs in the front and the rear. I think there's leaf springs in the rear, but I know there's one in the front, so you can adjust them a little bit. I've never messed with the front ones. I lowered the rear as much as I could get it safely to lower. So, I like where it sits right now, but I bought some lowering bolts, so it's going to hopefully close that. Obviously the front's a little bit more monster trucky, so I bought these guys over here. Forgot what they're called. BDE Systems Corvette lowering bolts. So I got front and rears. I also got some new rear sway bar bushings because these guys are a little shot. So I don't know if I'm doing all of them today. Here's the bushings. I mean, they don't look too hard at all. They just go right over. And here's the lowering bolts. There's the front. Self-explanatory. There's the rears. So I'm going to attempt to do this. I haven't even taken the wheels off this car since I bought it, so pull these wheels off, see what I can see from back here. Like I said, I don't know what I'm doing. I watched a few videos. I mean, I've lowered it before on the stock bolts, so I know where everything's at. So I'm just gonna get started turning into it, and I'll try to take some videos and show how to do it. I know there's plenty on how to do it, but I'm kind of just showing you that I am doing it. So before and after, I guess I'll get a good side shot if I even get these done today, but that's the stance before, and then hopefully this goes smoothly and I can get you in after. Alright, I know this is hack. I couldn't get my jack under there because my exhaust tips were hitting the peg, so I had to do it on one side. I'm gonna take the wheel off. The lowering bolt is right there. That nut is on top. It goes in. There's a leaf spring back here, so yeah, that on the bottom and up top, but I think I just have to loosen the nut and then it should drop right out the bottom and take off the wheels, and then we're set. We'll do one side at a time and at least get the rears done today. Alright, so you need a 19 for the bottom, and then I think that's a 21 up top, and then you have to loosen her all off. Obviously that's the old lowering bolt, so I have everything off. Here's the new guy. It's gonna go up like this. See if we can get it in there without having to take the jack off, but we'll see what happens. That's next. Seeing the new bolt is so much longer, it goes in very easily, as you can see. I tightened it down quite a bit because I want it to be at least on there enough. So I'll have to measure that and do it to the other side so I have an equal lowering measurement, but it looks like it's loose up there because there's no tension on the spring, so I'm going to lower it down and see how much it did or what the difference looks like. And then we'll do the other side. It's actually really easy to do the rears on these. Alright, so I had to modify some stuff, but I got it. This is how it's going to sit. It hasn't settled yet, but it's definitely lower in the back. It's almost flush. Hopefully it settles a little bit, but I like that a lot more than what it was. So what I did, so this is how it'll come, right? So these are like solid bushings, but they're fat, so it didn't lower it at all really. These all the way maxed out are pretty much the same as the stock ones maxed out. So I took the stock bushings, cut off a layer of it. I'll show you on the other side when I do it again. Not using the stock bolts, I'm using the longer lowering bolt. So it's a brand new lowering bolt, old bushings maxed out, and that's what it's gonna look like. So don't buy these lowering bolts if you already have your stock lowering bolts maxed out and expect them to be lower, because they're not. But if you do what I did, it does lower it about a ½ inch more. So I like it a lot more already. So now I'm going to do the other side, tighten these lug nuts up, and then we're done. Hey Roche, gotta do the front. Bushings in too, dog. It's alright. Took off the whole control arm, all that blah blah blah, and got the lowering bolt almost all the way out. It was really rusty and really hard to do, but just have to jack up the leaf spring, pull it out, throw the new one in, put everything back together, and on to the next. If I can get this down here without busting anything up. I gotta get to that leaf spring, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to it from. Look how crusty this bolt is. Come on. Focus, baby. That's the OG one, and I don't think it's ever been taken out in its life, so. There's OG. Our new one I thought I said over here, but maybe I'm tweaking. It's in my pocket, that's why. Here's the new one. We're gonna throw it back in, reverse the process, put everything back together, and do it on the other side. Alright, the more I've learned about these lowering bolts, the more I'm advising that you don't buy them and cut your stock bushings, because you can go just as low. So I put the front lowering bolt in on the driver's side, front, and it does not get nearly as, it's about a little higher than the stock bolt maxed out. So I cut the rubber off the bottom of the stock bolt on the front for this side. I did on the other side. It's still not as low as I want it, but it's definitely lower. So I'm gonna run it on this side, see what it looks like. I might have to raise up the rears because they might be too low. So I'm gonna redo this side now that I know what I'm doing. It's not that hard. It takes about 20 minutes a side, and the back takes 20 minutes to do both. So I'm going to take everything off again, jack up the leaf spring, take the new one out actually, put the old one back in with the bushing cut off. And like all the videos say, those two, sway bar end link down here, 2 shock bolts in the bottom, the whole entire suspension hub comes down. Jack the leaf spring up, take the old one out, put a new one in. So we're gonna throw the old one back in. I'll get back with you guys. All right, finish the fronts. This is as low as they can possibly go until you get coil over. So they don't get as low as you want. I mean, it is lower, it does look good, but the rear definitely gets much lower. And it might rub a little bit with those spacers I have on it, so I might have to raise it up a bit. This side looks even lower over here, but same up front over here. Still 3 fingers, which is a really big pain in the butt, but back here, look at this. It's too low, so I'm gonna have to pull her up and raise the rears, both of them, sadly, but if I get over fenders or the wide fenders they make for this, when I do, I'll be able to run it this low, but not for now. So to try to level it out a little bit. Alright, I got Snowy moving it in, but it's complete. Front's not as low as the back, which is alright. Raise the back up a little bit, but it still sits. It still looks like it's sitting way too low, actually. Yeah, that side's lower, but it might be the way the drive is, so that's what she's looking like right now. I gave up on adjusting it because it just wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, so. But yeah, she's done. It's not a hard job. Just wouldn't buy lowering bolts. If you're gonna go low, get coilovers. Modify your stock lowering bolts, and you'll get this. Those are stock lowering bolts in the back. Or actually, aftermarket lowering bolts, but they're the same length, stock bushings. Because all it is the bushings that make a difference. So cut your bushings down and you'll be money. So hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was a weird little video, but that's all I got today. So hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys later.